You know, another lesson that I learned, Les Brown is so funny. He had asked this question, like, where's the wealthiest place in the world? And people were talking about all of these beautiful, extravagant places. Oh, yes. Let's go, right? Yeah. He goes, no, it's the graveyard. Because that's where people have gone with their hopes and dreams that they never lived. That only they can manifest in this life. No one else can do what they came to do. Yeah. No one else can do what Chris came to do. And we could not be here in this group with you at all today if you did not do what you did, which I would say is self-love. Yeah, I mean, like, it's amazing. You know, we don't credit ourselves enough with how brilliant we are and how powerful we are, and really the impact that we make, because we really realize we are the shit.
Yep, that's 100%. I tell people all the time, you know, people inbox me, they be like, Chris, thank you so much, you helped me so much. I'm like, you helped you. Yeah, I didn't do anything. I literally just had a conversation with a lady today. She's like, thank you so much, you helped me. I was like, you're welcome for whatever role I played in this, but you're the one that, you know what I'm saying?
Because that's so true. But you showed up for you. That's the outlet that people are plugging into. And that outlet wouldn't have been there if you didn't show up. Look at what your brothers did. Look at your family. You know, it's just,
I'm so proud of them. It's been so amazing watching, being able to.
And your sister is sisters. I saw one video with your sister. That was beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, and if you're talking about the first video, I know we did a follow-up, maybe 2 follow-ups, but I mean, she is just doing so well. Now, it's a journey, you know what I mean? Everybody's time frame is different. Yeah. You don't compare yourself to anybody, but being able to see her grow. There was a time when my sister was only wearing weave, never knew what her hair looked like. She actually couldn't grow her hair. I think she was saying that it was like damaged and all of this stuff. And now she's got, you know, locks.
Yeah, see,
you know,
that's beautiful. And on the path of hair, I did that for 20 years.
Locks?
I was in the hair industry.
Oh, okay.
And all of that carcinogenic stuff messed me up. That was a part of my fall.
See, and that's, you know what, the hairstyle has got to be careful.
Very, very. And, you know, I don't know how careful you can be if you're around those things all the time. Oh, go ahead.
Well, what I was going to say is, meaning that you have to intentionally detox that stuff out so it doesn't.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. I wish I would have known that then. My whole body went like, shut down.
Yeah. And it's, you know, it's crazy because, as you know, some of those chemicals, you wear gloves and things, and you're not supposed to put the chemicals so close to the scalp because we know that they're bad, but then somehow we think, okay, if I don't apply this chemical on the scalp, but it's like an inch away, it's okay. No. How? It's in your head that touches your scalp.
Yes, it does.
Like those chemicals. I heard that there was a lady who had passed away. She was a Black lady, and she had been using relaxers all her life. They did the autopsy, and she had a green slime.
Yes, I remember that. That helped me a lot.
Yeah, that's so scary.
And you wonder why there's so much mental illness.
Yeah.
Not just in the African American community, if that word is still powerful. I'll say it. I should say love everybody out, but others as well. Hair color, the straighteners. I mean,
nail polish.
I know. I was living that life too. I would wear braids and weave, and I don't. Whatever makes you happy, but I know the opposite side of that and what the outcome. Like my hair was so stressed, so stressed.
Yeah. I'm not telling nobody nothing. If you love painting your nails, do it. Maybe you can find a way to
natural stuff.
You know, it's like you said, everything comes from natural nature anyway.
Yeah.
So it was just really, you know what? When I started my health journey, I gave up dairy. Now, I didn't give it up completely, but I used to buy a half gallon of ice cream every week. I used to have, pizza once a week. You know what I mean? I wasn't eating a lot. And I said, oh, I got to stop eating ice cream. This is it. I want to get healthy. Ice cream's bad for me. Boom. And then I went to Philadelphia and I met this lady named Beverly who runs this place called All the Way Live. She was a friend of Dr. Sabi's. And that's just kind of how life works. What are the chances of me meeting a woman who personally was friends with Dr. Sabi, right? And she had this homemade ice cream, this ice cream that she would make or whatever. And it was delicious. And it was ice cream, real ice cream.
Yeah.
I'm like, how do you make this? She's like, young coconut meat. Da, 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 da. And so I was just can you teach me how? She wouldn't teach me. She's like, yeah, I was just at the school showing the children how to make it. I'm like, why would you teach me? You know what I mean? So I decided that I was going to make my own ice cream. Yeah. And, 6 months later, whatever the case may be, I perfected my ice cream. And now to this very day, I just had some yesterday. I have real ice cream.
See, you should sell it.
That's what people tell me, but I don't have a desire. You know what I'm saying? I would sell the recipe, though. I'd sell the technique or whatever.
Yeah.
Or license it, I should say.
That would be genius.
Paid.
Yes.
Yeah.
For my money, y'all.
Yeah. But, I mean, shoot. I mean, you can set it up as your shop when you...
Yeah, this is Chris's thing right here, y'all. We have ice cream by Chris.
3 ingredients.
What we gonna call it? Chris James.
I call it Chris Cream.
That is so dope. Yeah, I was like, we got Chris Cream over here. That would be amazing. Yeah. You never know.
It's really
we'll
good.
We'll carry it in our store.
It's really good.
Yes. Isn't it beautiful? Look at and this is not it. Can you imagine, guys, where you're going to be next year this time?
Me? Oh, no.
It's just like, what amazing thing is coming next? What is the what next? That's, if we live our life in a way where we are anticipating greatness, can you imagine how beautiful it can be? I
can't. It's unimaginable.
I have to get with kids. They be helping me. Like, they be talking about some abracadabra. I was like, girl, okay, abracadabra, go do this, this, and this. But it's just.
That which I think I create.
Yes. Yeah.
I didn't know abracadabra was real. I thought it was just made up language. It's the furthest thing.
It is the furthest thing. Just like wishing upon a star. All of that stuff. Yeah. Clicking your heels a little bit. Okay. 1, 2, 3. There's no place like home. Oh, that's a whole other topic. All right. Well.
Yeah, but it's, a lot of the movies tell us a lot.
Oh, brilliant. Brilliant. See, it's still, there's no conspiracy that's against us. Really, everything is for you. Depends on how you angle it.
True.
Even, what we're experiencing now collectively as a people, how do you get to choose your response? Yep. You can respond in fear. You can take power and authority, regardless, But stay safe.
Wash your hands and make sure you're 6 feet away from each other.
I know.
Look how long my arm. That's a 6-foot arm right there.
Yep. So what has been the greatest thing for you, like, throughout this whole journey?
The greatest thing for me, honestly, the greatest thing for me, keeping it 100%, is my my self-empowerment and being able to feel comfortable in my own body. Because that's what pushed me to learning all of this. Was I got to a point where I just wasn't comfortable in my own skin, and that's like the worst place in the world to be. You can't run from inside yourself. And I thought that I was going to have to live with the discomfort for the rest of my life. Yeah. And I kept thinking to myself, how am I ever going to live with this forever? And that right there starts the process of really, I think, rapidly deteriorating and death. Because you're thinking, how can I live? I don't know how I can live with this, so then I have to die. Right. So I really love that, I've been able to inspire others to go through that same process. But for me personally, the best part is my own wellness and expansion.
Yes. You know, I just love seeing the before and after pictures of people posting on the page. It's just like, oh, really, y'all are really doing it. It encourages me to even, you know, continue on with what I do, because I'm like, y'all are doing it. I mean, like, things that we are taught were impossible. Even like with the skin having that snapback effect, we were taught, well, if you lose such a significant amount of weight, you're going to have that removed.
Right.
It's not true.
Not true.
It is not true. I mean, oh my goodness.
That dry fasting really.
Dry fasting is everything. It is the best way.
Because, you know, like, it's really, dry fasting takes any extra water, inflammation, or anything that you've got that not doing anything purposeful, and it uses it. You know what I mean? Because you're not taking the water by mouth anymore, so the body gets the water from other places.
Yes.
So that dry fasting.
That's how I got my belly button back out. I'm telling you, it was like, where was it? It was like in folds.
And that was you were never like severely overweight.
No, I just had big babies.
That was just from babies.
Yes, real big babies. And really, I think if I knew, like my naturopath that told me, she said prevention is the best solution to anything. So if I knew how to manage my body, I don't think I would have ever had 100%. That issue.
I know for 100% fact, if you really, it's just really taking care of yourself, just natural, normal stuff.
Right.
That we're like tricked into not doing and believing. Yeah, but women, all women have that ability to have that snapback. You don't see animals running around here having 5 or 6 puppies at a time and their bellies all dragging on the ground.
Forever. It's only a little sag for a minute, and then it snaps back.
It snaps back.
However, if they're in an environment where they're not, you know, nourished properly, you know, they get gray hair. And when you look, I haven't seen, now I could be wrong, but I haven't seen anything free gray. I don't know. Like,
besides animals, a gray wolf.
Which it's a gray wolf.
They start off there, right?
But I'm trying to think, like, I mean, we're not talking about zoo.
No, not zoo. Because
but maybe I'll do more research. But I haven't
domesticated animals all have the same diseases as us. Your dogs eat kibbles. They'd be like, it's meat in here. How is there meat in this dried up kibble?
And it's dry.
You thinking you're giving?
Why would you know that?
That's crazy.
We should eat what we eat.
And their feces be ranking, and they're always farting. They got diabetes, and they got allergies. Where do you think this happened from? They give the dog shots. Because, you know, the dogs got to get shots, right? Because we get shots.
They're going to get wormed.
But the wolves in nature, they don't need shots. And, you know, somehow the gorillas in nature, they don't get diabetes, but the ones in the zoo do. I mean, I don't know. I just be trying to put 2 and 2 together.
Yes. Almost like the doctrine of signatures with, you know, the fruits and the vegetables looking like organs. Sweet potato pancreas, you know, all that kind of stuff. Y'all know about that? You should look it up.
Doctrine of signatures.
You know, you have like the tomato has the chambers. It's like your heart. Of course, it has the red, the lycopene, which is beautiful for that. Like the pancreas, that sweet potato helps to control insulin issues when there's like an overproduction of it. Type 2 diabetes people do greatly benefit from sweet potatoes. Beautiful, beautiful. So even I do, well, you know, people have died. I mean, pancreas, what can you do with it? They can't get to it without killing you. So really, I mean, I don't think anyone is successful with that surgery. So
gotta take
doctrine of signatures, everything in nature has a place. Just like kidney beans. Oh my gosh, I was working on my kidneys. I'm going to tell you, y'all, kidney beans work for your kidneys. But they look just like them. Why is it so difficult? It never was meant to be so difficult.
It's kind of like those little puzzles that children have where it's like a square hole and you get the square block and it's like, clearly this goes here.
Right.
The circle goes in the circle hole and you know what I mean?
Yes.
That's kind of like
just like that.
Just like that.
Instead of trying to dissect it with some little solution to the non-problem. There's a problem. There is none. This fixes it.
Crazy. Yeah.
You know what else? You were talking about teeth. Like my teeth have been crooked like all my life, my adult teeth. But I have noticed recently them shifting. I can feel it. And I've been taking pictures.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna continue to take that picture diary to see how they shift. But shoot, what is his name? There was a guy who was talking about that. He was like, your teeth are straightened out because they're connected to that organ. This is like all kidney right here. So I like I said, I had a lot of issues with my kidney for a long time from a child.
Yeah, because we're shapeshifters. So I was researching the teeth and dentistry and stuff, and I know that when you forcibly straighten your teeth, that's bad for you. I know that we're vain and we want our straight teeth, and I get all that. Of course, we don't have the knowledge to say, oh, if we work on healing this organ, we can, naturally. But your jaw is supposed to move and shift.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't think it does it as much, but let me see what's on it. I think I have a picture of it. You can see it. Like my jaw literally was askew. Like I had like a stroke or something. Like it was like tilted. And when I would talk, I'd be like trying to hold my mouth a certain way so it wouldn't look crooked.
Right.
But these things balance out. It's so brilliant how this body works.
And it's just really understanding what that is. Everything that we go through is our body speaking to us. Like for a long time, people would look at me, especially after I started the healthy alternative and I'm doing all the fasting, I'm eating. People are like, Chris, you're so healthy. Why are you still fast? They
don't get it. Yeah.
They don't. I'm like, do you see these glasses on my face? You know what I mean? Like, how am I healthy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like when I don't have to wear glasses, my hair is long and it's full and it's colorful, not like gray, and everything is gone. Then I might be like, yeah, I'm healthy.
Yeah.
But until everything is
like all the way up,
I'm not healthy.
Yeah. But you're closer than you were when you started. I always like to say that. It used to annoy Nikki on doing her. We're almost done with your hair. Better than that first spray we were on, ain't it? But anyway, I was going to say something else, but it's just brilliant. So when I was younger, I was diagnosed with myopia of my right eye, and it's legally blind. And I always hated my glasses because it was such a mismatch in the lens. Like back in the day, my glasses looked like a Coca-Cola bottle on this eye. I was like, and I don't care if you give me some purple tint. They tried to do everything, make them cute. Baby, we can put in purple tint, get you purple frame. I was like, it's just no. And I would do everything with this eye. I still do. So when I'm making jewelry, this is the eye that I use. And I remember an optometrist of mine once told me, so I asked her, I was like, well, what can I do to keep my eye from like losing control and getting weak? She's like, what you do is you get a newspaper and you look at those little words and you make your eye go into the pattern of those letters and you constantly use that eye. Because I look at it now, I was like in another life, I was a jeweler. I just know it. And I said, I wish I had a jeweler's eye instead of wearing this thing on my eye that little thing like this. Yeah. And now I got my own little jeweler's eye. I can go like this. I'm telling you, I'd be like this. And my grandbaby, she will say to me, she'll see me on my phone sometimes with it like this. And I'll be like, baby, I got to put my eye on it. So now she'll go around and say, I got to put my eye on it. But it's just amazing. The things my vision was so interesting that my daddy was in college when we were little. And I don't even know how that even happened, but I wound up being on a stage and I was a topic of discussion, my eyeball. And I was just like, are y'all for real? I'm sitting up here, y'all having like a discussion of what we can do about this myopia in her eye. Well, nothing, because obviously this is how this eye got here, so I'm going to use it. That's the way. Sometimes we look at what someone may consider a disability as a disadvantage. It's not. It really isn't. I've seen people do amazing things. Yeah. And I'm only talking about my eye. I'm talking about people who don't have limbs.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, it's almost like it opens up a door that it doesn't even exist for other people because they're experiencing life in a different manner. But I will say that I do want to eliminate my glasses. So I had a guy on my show. His name is Jake Steiner, who actually developed a technique for reversing myopia.
Wow. Do we want to get rid of you?
Huh?
I'm talking to my
Yeah. Yeah, and it's you know, it's crazy because the eyeglasses are the biggest crutch in the world, because it's like, okay, I'll do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm just not right now. Because I want to focus. I want laser focus on it because I don't want it to take long. And I got all these excuses. True. And I took like maybe a year of looking at other methods to reverse my myopia, and it was
that's so cool that we both have that.
Oh yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I feel I just feel like warm and cuddly that I know I have an option. When I'm ready, I can really get going.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's been at it for a few years now, like 10 years. And he's got a group and he's got a YouTube channel, and people really do reverse their myopia.
See? Yeah. See y'all. Okay, unrelated to the eye, but during my detox process, I was literally moles were falling off my face. I had one under my eye for a long time, and then this one was starting to go. And I got it when I was a little girl, and my grandmother is really mirrors the one that she has. And I was just like, I just don't really know if I want that one to go away. But it's really amazing, like things that we want to hold on to just because, like, but maybe it shouldn't be there, but or should it? You know.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah. Oh, like the moles, they show you like the things that are going on in the body because they're also connected to the meridian line. So a lot of my issues of my kidneys, since they were resolving, the moles that were under my eye were dying. I remember I had one on my chest. It hurt. I was like, what is going on? Oh, this mole is really drying up and dying. I think I have pictures of that too. I'm telling you, I took pictures of everything. Like, look. Can't believe this. Nobody will believe it, so let me take a picture.
Well, because my brother Steve, in his interview, he had a growth that was on his shaft of his penis.
I remember that video. Was that the dry fat when he talked about dry fats in that video?
Yeah, he probably talked about dry fats in that video, and it had completely ejected itself. The body,
that is amazing.
The body ejected it.
See?
Yeah.
We're missing out. No, we're not missing out.
People are, because it's like you're living with this stuff and you don't have to. But getting to that place where the body can actually do the healing, it is a challenge.
Yeah.
But that's why we try to tell people, outside of weight loss, like this journey, fasting, health, eating well, there's so much benefit. Like really stuff that you don't even consider as possible to heal or reverse, or you don't even think it's a disease, like male pattern baldness and stuff. Like, you just accept it as normal.
Oh yeah. I had hair like right here. Look at all these little baby hairs that are growing in. That used to be like almost skin. I don't know if you remember the picture. Let me tell y'all, I was one day in the car. The sun was shining on my head. I'm thinking I'm all cute because I done pulled my hair back in the ponytail. I saw scalp. I was like, oh my gosh. My hair done fell out like that.
Yeah, didn't even right under your nose.
Yeah. It's amazing. And then to get it back, and it does not happen overnight.
Right, no. So my hair started thinning, and I noticed it because I keep my hair cut low. I used to, obviously. I keep it cut low, and because I take care of my own hair, I was more like observant, and I noticed that it was getting thin, like above my temples on both sides, and also around the crown of my head. And I didn't know for sure it was thinning until I started growing my hair. Wow. And it was growing at an uneven rate, or it'd be thinner. And that's when I knew for sure. But, at the time I was probably like 30 and I started thinning. My hair was thin.
Right.
Isn't
it unfortunate that it's supposed to be this badge of passage or a rite of passage or just the doom and gloom that's associated with getting older? And I had mentioned that in that little clip that everyone talks about, and it's just like it really does happen if you do not know how, again, to take care of your inner terrain. What is going on inside is coming out.
My pop-up, my dad's dad, he died with a full head of hair. My dad was over there cutting his hair all the time. You know, people are like, oh, you're just gonna happen. It's hereditary. It didn't happen to my dad's dad.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't happen to, as far as I can remember, my mom's dad. My grandma still has she's 90, still has a full, beautiful, full head of hair. She's got the salt and pepper thing going on, but she's not even completely white.
Yeah.
You know? So why am I at 30 having patches? They say it's hereditary.
I think hereditarily bad habits that we, hold on to.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think anything is you're just
this
doomed.
Is what it is.
Yes.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Environmental stressors and bad habits.
Yes, and the pathogens that are living off of you,
Yeah.
A lot of that. Like, I may say the word wrong, but the mites, Dermidex mites, it starts with a D, and I learned about that from Barbara Frank. She said they are on you by the trillions, like on your skin, on your hair, and they eat it. So, it's a lot of reasons why the hair is suffering.
Well,
and it is easy, and you're doing it all. You're resolving it because you're creating that harmony.
Right.
And, you're creating an unfriendly environment. It's like an eviction notice. Get out.
Yeah. Everything.
We have a cup.
Everything that is not in harmony with your body, it goes away. And like you said, the earth is the same way. Mm-hmm. The earth constantly is naturally resolving all of the disruptive, disharmonious things that man is doing.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Just like with that patch of dirt you mentioned earlier, being able to restore that. I mean.
And have you read scientific discovery that even with plastic, the earth has been able to utilize that and make it into fertile soil? Yeah.
But
I've read little documents on that. It's quite interesting because, again, everything is adaptogenic. It's not a curse, like doom and gloom to like beat us away all the time. It's just like, oh, we're going to have to like rearrange ourselves so we can, beat that up. So
the sun. The sun.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's everything.
That is amazing. Who can purify their blood with some sunshine? Wow.
Yeah, it breaks down all of that stuff. Is it the first time that I really started to understand the power of the sun is when I was doing my research on water, and I would take distilled water and I put it out in the clear glass jar out in the sun, and it would change the structure, the taste of the water, the texture of the water. It would do so much, even if, because like at the time I was like burning so when you distill the water, if the water burns out, if all the water, the distiller will keep running and it kind of burns all the chemicals and all the calcium and crap that was in the water. And then that gets in the water. So the water would taste funny. And I was like, why does my distilled water taste like that? It should taste pure, like, it should taste good. And I started putting it out in the sun, and it would remove the taste from the water.
Genius.
And at the same time, I was fasting, so my taste buds were resetting, and all the chemicals and all that crap that was messing up my ability to taste natural sweet and whatever. And I was able to taste a sweetness in the water.
Wow, that's beautiful. See?
Taste the rainbow. Taste the rainbow. They tell you right there with the Skittles. It's the sun. Because a rainbow is just sunlight being reflected. So yeah, I was able to taste it. It was crazy.
Yeah. Just beautiful. Yeah. See? Again, everything is in love with you.
Perspective is everything. Is that like that story of the farmer whose son was, helping him like farm, and he got thrown from a wild horse one day and like broke his leg. So the farmer was like, oh, what a terrible day. I need my son to help me get this work done so we can make money and whatever. Just so happens the next day, the emperor's men were out looking for healthy young guys to join the army.
Oh,
but his son's leg was broken, so he didn't have to go. And the story keeps going on and on like that. It's like the farmer's like, oh, what a terrible thing. And his dad would be like, good, bad, who knows? You know what I mean? And it's just like time and time again, the son, the farmer, perceived something that was happening to him as a bad thing. And then it turned out to be a blessing in disguise. And so that's, I mean, I really have taken on the challenge of making that my status quo, or, you know, my baseline. Like, I do my best not to look at things as good or bad. It's hard, but I do my best to just look at, you know, really just shift my perspective. Good, bad, we'll see. Yeah. You know? Yeah. You know, it's, everything's a learning experience or opportunity to grow. Yeah. Even with what's going on now, I'm all I'm looking for is what I can get out of it. What advantages can I get? Yeah. You know, we got so much time on our hands right now, and I'm writing a book. See, guys, it's beautiful. Yeah. And not being in the place of fear, not maybe that it's a fearful situation for some, but, you know, get your power. Make use, like you said, of the time. Time. That's our most valuable asset. Like, do something with your time. Everybody's like, I'm bored. Oh my gosh. The best thing was like learning how to be alone with myself. And like, it's so much fun, guys. You know, you just don't realize how valuable you are. That alone time, that inner time is just, yeah. Y'all take advantage of that. Take advantage. Yeah. Please. Like, you can go in there and have like a little retreat with yourself. Light some candles. Do some meditating. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Oh, okay. I wanted to, you were talking about hair. You know, we're talking about hair. So like, my hair is like so shiny and soft. But okay, I love using like the clay. I love the bentonite. Well, the Aztec. That's real familiar product. But I mix it like with bentonite and amla berry powder. Oh my gosh, it is so beautiful for the hair. It's so beautiful. I've recently learned that we have to protect our hair. I mean, this is just my opinion. Maybe because of toxicity, maybe because of the atmosphere stuff they're spraying. I don't know, but because I did an experimental stage where, okay, first I was like doing things to my hair like coconut and water and all this oil and stuff, and especially my beard was doing very well. Yeah. And then I was like, well, let me see if I just use water, like, you know? Yeah. And it was soft, but it was like brittle, which is weird. Soft and brittle. It was weird. Like, feel like your hair is soft, but it's like dry or something, you know? So it was breaking off. I could do this and it would just break off. Yeah. And it got really patchy. And then I was like, okay, let me go back. Let me see if I can make some products from home, use some essential oils and things. And that's what I've been using recently. And then something like the mixture that you just mentioned, where I will kind of seal it in and protect it. And it's been doing so much better. Oh, yeah, it's really beautiful. Thank you. You're welcome. Your hair too. Certainly something I've been working on. Yes. It was falling out and breaking. Oh, yeah. Oh, Irish moss is good too. How do you use it? I use like the powder. I'll mix it with the powders. And you can either add water or oils to it and apply it to damp hair. Oh, okay. Really cool. It's really amazing. Yeah, I never. Oh my gosh, and Irish moss itself is just really good with removing like bacteria, viruses, heavy metals from the body. I think out of most of the sea vegetables, it really is. I can't say it's the most powerful, but it's really up there. It's definitely touted as one of. Do you? Is it something that you just let it kind of like a deep conditioner type deal? Well, it's more for me like when I want a really good deep clarifying treatment for my hair. I'll mix all of those things together. I don't do it all the time because it's more clarifying. It's kind of strip it down, but not in such a way that maybe a shampoo. Right. But you know, I'm all about the pee game too. So in between time, I clean my hair with my urine. Yeah. Can y'all see the shiny stuff? Yeah. We'll hope, you know, we'll put them pictures up there so they can see what. Oh, when I was bald, my whole little head, and that little patch on my face, that was crazy. I was like, something is
eat in my face. It was horrible.
It's unfortunate sometimes that we have to go through this because, like you said, this is 101. But it also is like what we both asked for, really. Because I know I was like, yo, I want to heal, and it's like you have to experience all this stuff as part of the journey. There's no pill that's just like,
no, it does not exist.
No pill, no.
You are the key.
What do they call it? Panacea or something? The cure-all or whatever it is. Yeah. It doesn't exist. It's not fasting. It's not urine therapy. It's not dietary changes. It's not sitting out in the sun and grounding. There isn't one thing because we're being attacked by every single angle, our frequency, and our mental is being attacked. So because
then it would make the part of everything in creation is a part of you untrue if you only dealt with it one way.
Right, straight up.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I'm living proof that you just cannot do pee, or you just cannot be fruitarian, and you just cannot water fast. None of that works exclusively by itself. Having some cooked food. Oh my gosh, that was great.
Shoot, I want some food. I'm hungry. I haven't eaten all day. I'm not fasting. People are like, Chris, I stopped fasting like doing the long-term fasts about a year ago, maybe a year and 3 months ago, because I went through this process. I did this 30-day fast, and I was doing these liver flushes, and my digestive system just took off. And I got to a point where, you know how like you do your fast and you get really, really thin, but then you gain the weight back. And it's like that healthy. Like I just got to the point where my body was like, nah, you're going to stay right here. And I was just like, real? Like, we're not going to gain no weight. Nah. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm good on that.
Yeah.
So, I would still do the intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
But
yes, I am right there because I get way too skinny.
Yeah.
I mean, not that I understand the whole principle and the why behind it, but I found balance with that where it's just not, I have to do all this fasting all the time. Yes, the intermittent fasting is like beautiful. Or maybe one day I may do a dry or maybe two, but not like I used to go so hard.
And that's also kind of progress too, I think. Because I feel like food is here. It's one of the pleasurable experiences in life.
It is.
Oh
my God. Yes,
like
I love food.
You eat it, it releases all these different feel-good chemicals. Like it is designed to be pleasurable, and we just abuse it. But it's not like we should have to avoid eating.
I know it, or even restrict what we eat. What a miserable life. I can even imagine, I am not bashing fruitarians. I think it is a beautiful place. It really is. But I cannot imagine my life just there. You're having rice? Oh. Like you said, broccoli? Oh.
Yeah.
Avocado.
Oh, yeah. Avocado.
Oh my gosh. I remember people like no fats, no seeds. I was just like, it just makes you insane. It's so much imbalance.
Yeah.
Internally when that happens.
There was, I was watching an interview with a very famous comedian. He's a white guy. He used to be really overweight, and his partner was the guy who was like the deaf guy. It was like the big white guy and then the small deaf guy. I don't know his name, but he lost like 150 pounds, maybe something like that, maybe more.
Oh, wow.
And the title of the video was, I lost X amount of weight, and I only eat what I want, right?
Yeah.
So by the end of the interview, what he had explained is that it wasn't that he wasn't able to, it wasn't like he was eating hamburgers and cheeseburgers and pizza and stuff. Through his process of losing the weight, his desires shifted, and he no longer wanted to eat those things. And I think that's what it's all about. It's like when you talk about restrictions, restrictions are based on your personal desires. So people be like, Chris, why do you restrict yourself? You don't eat meat? I'm like, that's not restrictive to me. I don't desire meat. I eat what I want, and I eat well, and I'm very happy. So if you're not at a place where you want you don't want to eat meat, then maybe focus on portion control.
There you go. Yes.
You know what I mean? You can focus on portion control, or, you know what I mean? Because there's a lot of stuff in our meat that makes it very bad. And taking a break from that helps. Mm-hmm. But I don't tell people stop eating meat.
Yeah, I never will do that. You know, I would never, oh gosh, you know, raising kids, I would never do that to them. Because this is my journey. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I 100% agree. Huh. Yeah.
I eat everything I want, and if something doesn't fit, I make it fit, like ice cream. I just made my own.
There you go. Yeah. Krispy Kremes. Coming to a store near you.
It's got a ring. It kind of reminds me of Krispy Kreme.
Right.
Yeah, but then
much better. Do you remember people lose their mind and lights come on? I ain't never liked McDonald's. They were a little too sweet for me.
They're very sweet, yeah. But they had crack in them.
Yeah. I think the hotness and the grease and I just
and sugar and fat. How do you go wrong with that?
Yeah.
People, you know what? My friend can't eat avocados, I think, because of the fat content. Oh. Well, I think it's very sad, but
yeah. Maybe so cleaning could help.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Because I feel like everything has a place. Sometimes those places just don't have room to hold it anymore. And if you like kind of do some spring cleaning and winter cleaning and fall cleaning and cleaning all the time, you'll be straight.
He's never done any detoxing. So he changed his diet, but he never did any detoxing. Yeah. And I tell people all the time, it's like,
not enough.
You can't just change. It's like, I got this house. I've been living in it for 20 years. I've trashed the place, holes in the wall, McDonald's wrappers everywhere, you know. Mm-hmm. And then one day I'm like, you know what? I'm going to stop trashing the house. Mm-hmm. Well, the house is still trashed. You got to go in and clean it up. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's the step people always skip. Mm-hmm. And then wonder why they're still sick.
Yes, it does not work. Mm-hmm. I've been there, done that. Right. Yes. That's why I love the part about, I can't wait for you to look. Have you read Dr. Bernard Jensen's book or anything on colon cleansing? And like you can formulate your own colon cleanse. Oh my gosh. I have pictures too. Well, that's in that one video. You'll have enough, I think.
Stuff.
Yes. It will pull out mucoid plaque and parasites. You'll be amazed. And Dr. Bernard Jensen mentioned like it's more than months. Sometimes it could be years before you rectify the issue of the colon. Mm. Because even after you get all of those congestions and little debris off the colon wall, you still have to shrink it back down and it has to lift back up. This is why this happens. Mm. The deeper and longer it gets shows you the issue. And your stomach could be flat as a board.
Right.
Mm-hmm. It amazed me because the things that were coming out of me, I have a picture of me when I was like bone, skin and bone. And I'm like, what did they do? Tuck and roll? I mean, how? Like, it amazes me how that can be in there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, different organisms. Octopus, for example. How does an octopus this big fit through a hole that small? You know? Yeah, the organism's body, even if you just think about the male genitalia, how is it able to expand and contrast? And
or how's the baby able to come out?
How's the baby able to come out? You know, so it seems like how, but we see examples of it all the time.
Yeah, it's so true. Because I'd be like, where do they hide? And how are you still there?
I know.
I had something come out that was like 20. I have that in that video. I measured it. I threw the towel away, y'all.
I need to get through the rest of that video.
Oh yeah, at the end it shows the pictures.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know it gets kind of boring. It's like,
it was just really long, and I've been being inundated with videos and stuff.
Yes.
Oh, it's been crazy.
I was trying not to do it to you. I was like, I know you have a life.
Not your videos, but like it's other.
He's trying to be nice.
I've watched all your videos, but I didn't. That one was like 20 minutes long, maybe.
I think 11.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like 20.
I could be wrong. Yeah, the good stuff is at the end, like the back part.
Oh,
like,
okay. Well, yeah, I'm definitely gonna check that out.
Yes, and then if you need like to copy and paste pictures, they're all right there. You're like, this is how messed up she was. I can't believe how I used to look. I be like, and it is possible for anyone to make a change.
Mm-hmm. Everybody's capable, and no one's too. For as long as you're breathing and you have the control over your appendages. The only time you're in really bad shape is when you are unconscious and they doing stuff to you and you can't do nothing, or when you're paralyzed and they doing stuff to you and you can't do nothing.
Oh yeah.
But
I remember this story about this girl who cured herself from paralysis. It was just brilliant, and it was through fasting.
I mean, Dr. Sebi mentioned many times, because oftentimes with paralysis is inflammation.
Okay,
yeah,
all those isses of it.
Yeah, it's like that inflammation is a beast. I mean, a lot of our disease is inflammation. So
yes.
If they would just stop using Latin words to describe things, we would be like, wait a minute, you're talking about that's just inflammation? That's all that is? Yeah. That's all it is. Yeah.
Yeah. It's simple.
Simple.
So simple.
And that dry fasting is a beast for inflammation.
Oh my gosh, it can't survive. It does not. It's like so instantaneous. You'll be amazed, but like if you can hold 7 days, can you imagine? Harry Madadine, he has done really long dry fasts. He's like in the urine group.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but he really does his thing. It's amazing just watching people who just, so inspirational.
Yeah, the dry fasters, the breatharians.
Yes, I thought I was going to do that for my life, but I really like food.
You like food? Me too. I think that I believe that I'm going to get to a point where I want to do it for a season.
Yes.
Certainly. Yeah. Because I think having that knowledge, once again, is powerful and it's expansive. But, Ella Tom is probably the only person who's kind of like in the popular arena that's really talking about that and doing that, but I think even he eats sometimes. He says he doesn't.
Yeah.
But then he's like come back and say, well, I eat sometimes, or I do certain things sometimes. You know what I mean? So I'm not really sure, but I do think that he, for the most part, does practice not eating at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I think even like, like dry fasting, I think is like where I'll stay with that. Maybe like, because I think everything still has to have balance. I think like when you have a lot of gray, and that's a whole other topic, but off camera, I'm like, I love to observe, and I notice imbalances of something like it's so rigid and so stagnant in only one way. I think we miss the big beautiful thing about living.
I agree.
But that's just
we in agreement.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah,
because I'm an observer too, and I see what you see too.
Yeah, because I'm like, that's not how I would want to perceive the way I want to go.
Right.
But if that works for you, woo! Yeah. But I think the sad part also comes in too, because I think when we become so extreme, we really alienate others totally.
Right.
Because we feel like this is the only way.
Yep.
I have arrived.
Yep.
Then why are we still here? Because where have we arrived to? It's never ending. The never ending story, right?
Yeah. That's so dangerous to get to a place where you feel like you are enlightened above and you can't interact with people. I don't understand that, because I know that we're built to have companionship. We just are. We're not built to be alone. And when you act that way and you maybe project that you live that lifestyle, feels like you'd be alone a lot.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And I just, I think it's good to get your alone time. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But we are built for companionship. So.
And not being so judgy, Well, why are you doing it that way? This is the other way to do it, or something. No, it's not. Do what you want to do.
How have you arrived and you judge people? That's such a basic, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you judge people, like if you're a judgy person, you ain't arrived.
To what?
To what?
You're so angry and bitter.
Yeah.
Like, it's to no avail.
Like, do you care what an ant does? No, I don't judge
don't bite
ants.
me today.
I don't judge other creatures and stuff like that. Why are you judging other creatures?
I don't know.
Like,
let everyone live.
I don't. That's it's something that I think because of like our society and just how things are presented and all these fundamental beliefs, it's something that's kind of ingrained in all of us. But I'm actively working on always making sure that I'm not a judgmental person because I don't want anybody judging me.
Right.
And also, judging people can be so detrimental.
Not only to yourself, but back to this love thing. Everything in creation wants love. It wants to be accepted. It wants to feel like it has a place. And how dare anyone tear that down over your self-righteous bureaucracy is just stupid. It's not fair.
And it's crazy too, like a lot of times these ideas that you base your judgment off of were given to you by somebody else. It don't even be your genuine, unique thoughts and beliefs. It's something that someone taught you.
Right.
Somebody gave you those beliefs. Like I think about that all the time when you just think about how we interact with each other. It's like, where did you learn that from? People like, I've always felt this way. Do you remember being born? No. Then how do you know that you've always felt that way? Like we, and even with that, we're impacted by what our parents do and what they kind of introduce us to. Even when we're in the womb, our ideas are being formed. It's like, I don't remember, being completely open and everything is new and wondrous and not really having solidified ideas about things. I don't remember that point in my life, unfortunately. Because if I did, then I'd be able to kind of go back and revisit some of those. And that's kind of the tragedy that comes along with being born and going through all of this trauma and not remembering things. It's like we don't know how we felt when we were born.
Yeah. And that's something. I wonder if we can go back to, or do we want to know? One funny thing is my mom she always shares this story. She's like, girl, you were coming out and then you started going backwards. You didn't want to come out. And then the doctor said 4 steps. And I was like, fuck that. I'm coming out. But I look at my life, not that I can remember that.
Right.
But my life is so patterned with that. Sometimes some things are just so extreme that makes me go, oh, okay, I'm going to get it together. I'm getting ready to do that. So, the journey.
That's very interesting. You, Terrence Howard, I don't know if you're like familiar. Terrence Howard's kind of been like in the public eye trending because he claims, I'll say he claims that he discovered the secret of the flower of life, which is pretty much a sacred geometric pattern and kind of understanding that sacred geometry. And I believe that he certainly has unlocked some amazing secrets. So I'm not going to discredit him, but I'm also not going to say he's, I'm going to leave y'all to figure it out for yourself. But anyway, you says he remembers being in the womb.
Wow.
Which makes sense because you should be able to remember, right? We're energetic. And everything was formed enough for you to be able to remember being in the womb at some point in time. But he he said he used to think his hand was his friend.
Oh.
He's like, oh, I'm in here with a friend or whatever. And then he was born and he realized that it was his hand. But there's certain people who are born with recollection of being, you know, in the womb or even being born. And I just think that that's such a gift to be able to have those memories. I mean, now with that being said, especially as young boys, babies, we go through a lot of trauma with the circumcisions.
Which is so unnecessary. If I would have known, y'all. Sorry, baby.
Yeah. And I tell people now, because I'm like, you know, men who are circumcised never even experience sex the way that they're supposed to. And they're like, yeah, but you know, it's clean and it looks better. I'm like, so for cosmetics reasons, I have to have my foreskin removed. It's like, yeah, but it's clean. I'm like, yeah, but a dog has his foreskin and a horse and a pig and like every other animal.
Yeah.
But
it just denatures us. All of those things. Isn't that horrible?
We look at the women that get that sort of treatment in other countries and we say, that's awful. You sew their vagina shut. You do all these crazy things. How could you do that? But over here, hey, cut the foreskin off. It's all good.
Yeah.
It's just such a double standard.
It is. It's horrible.
Yeah. But I believe that that's where a lot of the memory loss comes from, because your body, your mind is protecting you from, you know, extreme fear and pain and trauma. And, you know, we see it all the time. You'll faint when you experience extreme fear, you know, or extreme pain. It's just your body's natural protection mechanism. And I think that we compartmentalize that time frame because of trauma. And it goes for women too. We all experience it.
Yeah.
You know, even just being born in a hospital is traumatic.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's so unnatural.
It's so unnatural.
Even us laying on our back when we should squat. You know, so many things. Or even, I love how women have taken charge and care in the waters, and how they still leave the placenta intact, attached to the baby. It's necessary, you know, just stuff.
Yeah. Just normal stuff.
Like we be missing little bits and pieces because they started from the womb. Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Huh. It's like we're gonna mess y'all up. Make sure you don't act right at all.
Ever.
And I was thinking about, like, when you do iridology, you look at 12 o'clock. And a lot of times those areas have a really deep, dark line, which means there's a blockage. And that area deals with your higher consciousness and you being very confident in who you are. That same, like, you know, also deals with, again, Christ consciousness, the 33 rising up on the vertebrae. 33 degrees in masonry, you know, 33. It's very powerful. It's, you know, anyway, people are afraid of things, so I'll stop there.
Right.
But when you go to your teeth, you know how you're at the dentist and they're counting, this is molar number, blah, 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 blah. I can't remember what the sequence of numbers are, but the wisdom teeth, top and bottom, equals 33 here, top and bottom, 33 there. How ironic is it that they are extracted a lot of time unnecessarily, most of the time unnecessarily. And it brings me back to my daughter who's orthodontist wanted to take her wisdom teeth out and she refused. And it was kind of going back and forth. He didn't want to take the braces off unless she agreed. And she was like, well, maybe I'll consider it. But she didn't. But none of my kids have had their wisdom teeth taken out. And what I can tell in them is their confidence is so different, and knowing who they are is quite powerful to see. And not just them, anyone that I've met that have theirs. So see,
they told me, they were like, you gotta have your wisdom teeth out. I was like, nah, I'm not. They don't bother me. I don't want to have them out. And that was 15, 20 years ago. They told me I had to have them out.
And you don't. And I'm like, I wonder if they have the same picture that shows crooked teeth, like teeth growing. Like your teeth are growing this way.
Right there.
They're pushing into each other. They're not going to come out. Yeah. And like if they hurt, I was like, well, when a baby teeth, it's uncomfortable. what makes you think that won't be uncomfortable as an adult? But anyway, just stuff. And why do they call them wisdom teeth? So when you learn like iridology, what that meridian line is, it deals with wisdom and cognitive function and just your higher self.
Very interesting. Everything that words and terminology, they don't just be throwing it out there all willy-nilly. Everything has a purpose. There's a reason why they're called wisdom teeth. There's a reason. Everything has a reason. That's why sometimes when I'm like watching a documentary, I like a guy, his name is Dane Calloway.
Oh, you too? You know, he is dope. Oh my God. Dane. And that little music in the background.
Yes.
That's always in my head. Like,
you can tell he's a journalist. He knows what he's doing.
He does.
And he critiques everything because it's important. It's important the words they use, you know? So wisdom too.
Yes, yeah. And I love when he got into what indigenous was and all of that stuff. And, you know, I was like native.
Yeah.
Whole topic for a whole nother time.
Yeah, that I don't even know if that's a healthy alternative topic. I find all his research very interesting, eye-opening, and it resonates with me.
It does me as well. And all the myths that we have been conditioned to believe. Even I remember Dick Gregory talking about things like that, and there's so many others who really try to show the way. It's like, that's not real. You're being deceived.
Yeah.
But then it brings us back to the health and the functionality of this terrain.
Correct.
And why do you know? I was talking to I call him Bay. Bay. Yeah. Why do they call it age? Why do they say we're getting older and we're not? Why are we having these negative words associated to our very existence? It's crazy to devalue us. It's just like,
that's why I don't celebrate my birthday anymore.
My birthday's every day. No. Like, happy birthday.
That whole idea, you're getting older, you're 1 year older, you're 1 year, what's a year? Like, animals don't know what years are.
Yeah. Ooh, what about quantum time? The breath. That's a whole nother realm. A breath, a whole day of breathing is like a quantum year. I remember when I learned that get into quantum stuff. It's amazing. Like you just said, it's so many different levels and so many different things to learn, and we're just so isolated and stuck and bitter. Clean your liver, you won't be bitter. Yeah.
And if you don't believe, just try it. That's what it's gotta be. Just try it.
Yes. And it takes more than one time. And 2 times and 3 times and 4 times. It takes a lot. Yeah. Because how old are you? Yeah, not you. You know, like generally speaking, you know, think about all the years of accumulated nonsense.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't happen overnight. You know, it took years to get you to this point. But what I've noticed is, especially like the 30-year-olds are getting there so much quicker. Like, we're losing our hair, we're getting gray, we're dying. Everything's happening ultra fast now. So we have to look at what's happening.
Do you just like, I'll look at TV, people don't look like how beautiful and glamorous the way that they used to. Everything is like so overdone and makeup on bumpy skin when it was a time where everything was just flawless. And now it's just like, let's throw a wig on
and plastic.
Yeah.
Trust me, I know. I see it. Because I'll be looking at the girls, I'll be like, man, I don't even know what you look like.
That's scary.
Because you have so much. You have a mask on, literally. You're like, I got to put my face on. And they be dead serious. They look completely different with it. And it's just like, why not just take care of your natural skin? Like, I understand that some people don't know how, but learn. All the information is out there.
Yeah.
And even specifically right now, it's just a time of awareness and awaken. Like, people are awakening, and there's so much information available. Anything you want to learn or do, it's right there.
The age of Aquarius. Information age, y'all.
Yeah.
All this right at the tips of your fingers.
Mm-hmm. Which is crazy because we have it. It's all within us.
In every cell, it holds it. Every cell. And it's just waiting on you to unlock it. It's just waiting so patiently, spinning around in circles like, do you see me yet? Nope. Okay.
Shoot, that was good. I really appreciate you.
And likewise, it is again an honor that you have made this trip out to Joplin to see me. It was just so beautiful.
It's my pleasure. My pleasure. I like people to know, like, if I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
So make sure to like this video, y'all, or videos. I'm sure we're probably gonna break this up a little bit too. Subscribe. Check out Keli's website and information and everything we're gonna put in the description box. Go get you one of these jewelries.
And if you're ever in the Joplin area while we are here, we talk about moving away. Come to take a stand.
Come to take a stand and get you a smoothie and some Krispy Kreme.
We gotta have some Krispy Kreme. Yes. Oh, Corey gonna be so down with that.
Yeah.
Yes.
All
right. Thank you again, Chris. It's been okay. We have the rule.
No 6 feet.
Yes.
No 6 feet.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Pleasure's mine. Peace, y'all.
And here, please.